Serial killers, their names are etched in history, not just for their crimes, but for the sheer terror they brought upon their victims. Today we dive deep into the minds of the most notorious serial killers ever. Who were they? What did they do? Let's explore. Join us as we count down the top 10 most infamous serial killers in history. 10. Richard Ramirez, the Night Stalker. Starting off at number 10 is Richard Ramirez, better known as the Night Stalker. Between 1984 and 1985, Ramirez terrorized Southern California, committing a string of home invasion murders. He didn't discriminate. His victims ranged in age. From 9 to 83, Ramirez used a combination of brutal methods, including shooting, stabbing, and bludgeoning his victims. What made him even more chilling was his satanic symbolism left at crime scenes. After his arrest, he was convicted of 13 murders, 5 attempted murders, and 11 sexual assaults. Number 9. Gary Ridgway, the Green River Killer. At number 9, we have Gary Ridgway, known as the Green River Killer. Between 1982 and 2001, Ridgway murdered at least 49 women in Washington state, though the actual number could be higher. His victims were mostly sex workers or runaways. Ridgway strangled his victims, often leaving their bodies in wooded areas near the Green River. Despite his ability to evade capture for nearly 2 decades, DNA evidence finally led to his arrest in 2001. Ridgway's disturbing calmness and lack of remorse earned him a place in the history of the most infamous serial killers. John Wayne Gacy, the Killer Clown. At number 8, we have John Wayne Gacy, or the Killer Clown. Gacy lured young boys to his home, where he would sexually assault, torture, and murder them. He buried 29 of his victims under his house and in the surrounding areas. What makes Gacy particularly horrifying is his dual persona. He was a well-known figure in his community, even performing as Pogo the Clown at parties. His charm and friendliness concealed a dark and monstrous side. He was arrested in 1978 and executed in 1994. Aileen Wuornos, the monster. Next, at number 7, is Aileen Wuornos, one of the few female serial killers on our list. Wuornos killed 7 men in Florida between 1989 and 1990. She was a prostitute who claimed that her victims tried to assault her, and she killed them in self-defense. However, many believe Wuornos killed out of rage and revenge. Her case gained worldwide attention, and she was dubbed the Monster. Wuornos was convicted of 6 murders and was executed by lethal injection in 2002. Ted Bundy, the charismatic killer. At number 6, we have the infamous Ted Bundy, charming, intelligent, and calculating. Bundy confessed to killing at least 30 women during the 1970s, though the true number of victims could be much higher. He would often abduct his victims, often posing as injured or disabled to lure them in. His ability to blend into society and even work with law enforcement made him an elusive figure. Bundy was arrested, convicted, and executed in 1989. Wife Edmund Kemper, the co-ed killer. Number 5 is Edmund Kemper, the co-ed killer. Kemper was a towering figure at 6'9" and had a chilling calmness about him when discussing his crimes. He murdered 6 young women, his mother and his grandparents. His methods were brutal. He would pick up young women, take them to his home, and then strangle them. He even engaged in necrophilia and dismemberment. Kemper was arrested in 1973, and his intelligent and eerily detached demeanor during interviews made him one of the most terrifying figures in the criminal world. 4. Jack the Ripper. At number 4 is Jack the Ripper, one of history's most infamous and still unidentified serial killers. Operating in 1888 in London's Whitechapel district, the Ripper is believed to have killed at least 5 women, all prostitutes. His method was particularly gruesome, mutilating their bodies, removing organs, and leaving behind grisly signatures at the crime scenes. Despite many theories and investigations, Jack the Ripper's true identity has never been uncovered, cementing his place in criminal history. The Zodiac Killer. Number 3 is the Zodiac Killer, a name that still sends chills down the spine of many. Active between 1968 and 1969 in California, the Zodiac murdered at least 5 people, though he claimed to have killed 37. What made the Zodiac especially terrifying was his taunting behavior. He sent cryptic letters to the press and police, even mocking law enforcement. Despite extensive investigations, his identity remains a mystery, and his cryptic messages continue to haunt the public. 2. Henry Lee Lucas. At number 2 is Henry Lee Lucas, whose confessions led to confusion and chaos in the criminal justice system. Lucas claimed to have murdered hundreds of people across the United States, but his confessions were often contradictory and unreliable. While he did commit several murders, many of his confessions were proven false, leading to wrongful convictions. He was convicted of 11 murders and was executed in 2000. 1. Andrei Chikatilo, the butcher of Rostov. And finally, at number 1, we have Andrei Chikatilo, known as the Butcher of Rostov. Between 1978 and 1990, Chikatilo murdered at least 52 women, children, and teenagers in the Soviet Union. His preferred method was stabbing his victims, and his crimes were marked by brutal mutilations. Chikatilo's disturbing ability to lure victims, combined with his cold, calculating nature, made him one of the most prolific and horrifying serial killers in history. He was arrested in 1990 and executed in 1994. The darkness of human nature can sometimes be beyond comprehension. These killers left behind a trail of terror that is still felt to this day. If you found this video insightful, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more true crime content.